Hello, okay, this is the second part following my last lecture on the cause of cancer, where we discovered that toxins underlay virtually all cancers, and they did that by damaging the body in a range of different ways, which created imbalances, disabling the body's ability to self-heal. Okay, so some of the damage that they did would be suppress immune, reduce oxygen at a cellular level, oxidation, inflammation, deficiencies, etc. Okay, so before we get on to starting to look at how we can address this, I'm just going to give a little bit of background, my own personal background to cancer. So just over 5 years ago, I had the experience of having four close members of my family, including my wife, all diagnosed with cancer over a 12-month period. Now, as a holistic health coach, I'd been involved for decades in helping people with their health challenges, but I'd never had a personal up and close situation of cancer in this way, and it really woke me up to the actual epidemic of cancer in particular, but chronic disease in general, serious chronic disease like multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, autism, diabetes, etc. So I understood that toxicity was the cause of cancer. I understood that chemotherapy and radiation, which are the primary routes that conventional medicine is going to take someone with cancer, both cause cancer and both increase the toxic load, increase the damage, such as oxidation and inflammation and immune suppression and so on. So I didn't want to go that route with my wife. By the way, one of the members of the family actually died before we knew she had cancer. She didn't tell anybody she had cancer. She knew, and it was my wife's mother, and she died, and then subsequently my wife was diagnosed with the same cancer. Anyway, the approach that I took with my wife, of course, I'm not a doctor, I'm a holistic health coach. I can't treat disease as such, and I didn't treat the cancer. What I did was I addressed the cause, the toxicity, and the imbalances that toxicity creates in the body. And 6 months after doing that, my wife no longer had cancer and has remained so to this day without any treatment other than the initial biopsy, which she had, which I wouldn't recommend, but she had a biopsy, and that was where she got the diagnosis. And then she never saw the doctors again until she went to just have confirmation that she was cancer free, which they gave her, and she's remained cancer free. And that was done by not treating the cancer. Okay, so nothing I say is going to be about treating disease. Okay, I am not a doctor. I cannot treat disease legally. What I do treat is the body. I empower the body because the body is an amazing self-healing self-healing I don't know what to call it, a thing. Amazing, has amazing self-healing powers if you give it the right tools. Okay, so this is going to be now the beginning of a series of talks about some of the or in fact I'm going to cover all of the major things that my wife did, and subsequently over the years we've improved on what she did, and I'm going to go through how we were able to empower the body. And so, as I said, it's all about balance. You need your body to be in balance. As you see in front of you, there's a picture of a stone person, and if one piece is removed, it's going to destroy the whole body. Okay, with cancer, there's actually a lot more than one piece out of balance. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of the areas of imbalance, a very important one, because it's part of what underlies not just cancer, but every other chronic disease. Okay, it's called free radical oxidative stress. It's a word I have a mouthful trying to get around it. Okay, so oxidation is something that happens naturally in our body, that our body is able to deal with naturally, and it's not a problem as long as it's only at certain levels. If it becomes extreme, and that's what's happening, if you get extreme levels of oxidative stress, then your body is thrown right out of balance and there's damage done that is beyond its ability to repair. Now, oxidation, or free radical damage as it used to be called, is something that underlies every chronic disease known. If you go to PubMed, which is where all the studies, the government puts all the studies that scientists have done on things like this, and if you put any disease, any chronic disease that you can think of, and then put oxidation or free radical damage or oxidative stress next to it, you'll find a whole pile of studies on that and the disease that you're thinking of. This particular chart shows some of the diseases well known to have links to oxidation. I'm not going to read them all, but just in case it's a little small for you to read if you're looking with a mobile phone, some of those diseases include, other than cancer, because cancer's obviously a big one, but other than that, we have Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS, ALS, OCD, ADHD, autism, migraines, insomnia, depression, dementia, bipolar, macular degeneration, heart attacks and strokes, blood pressure up or down, okay, chronic kidney disease, asthma, allergies, Crohn's, bronchitis, and then more minor things like wrinkles and acne and eczema and psoriasis, dermatitis, and so on. All the immune system problems, autoimmune disorders of all types, herpes, HIV, Crohn's, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, etc. The list is diabetes. The list is almost endless, and this is just some of the better known ones. So oxidation then, free radical damage, is underlying all these diseases and a lot more. Okay, so if we're going to treat the cause of any disease, we better be sure to take care to deal with this problem of excess oxidation. So what is oxidation? So we have an apple here. And the first picture is a healthy looking apple, and then after that what you're looking at is oxidized apples. This is the damage done by oxidation. It's what ages the apple and it's what ages you. We can see here what the normal cell is supposed to look like, okay, and then the cell after it's attacked by free radicals looks like that. And that's the picture to help you understand that. Okay, so oxidation is something that happens to all living things. Okay, it's a process that accelerates as we get older. It starts from our inside and ends up coming to our outside when we get things like age spots and wrinkles, and your skin starts to look not as healthy as it used to. Your skin is your largest organ, and it's just showing the evidence of oxidation. But that is all going on the inside. Okay, and oxidation damages the DNA, it damages the cells, it reduces your ability to absorb nutrients, it reduces your ability to remove toxins, and as a consequence to that, it's one of the foundations of chronic disease. So we have to deal with that. Now, one of the ways that people typically think of when dealing with free radicals is to eat foods that are high in antioxidants, and that is a very good starting place. So there's some examples in those pictures right there of some of the foods that are highest in antioxidants, mostly fruit, although you will find antioxidants in vegetables as well, and it's certainly a good idea to be eating an antioxidant rich diet. I'm going to explain briefly how these antioxidants fight free radicals, and then I'm going to explain how it can be done much better. Okay, so here we have a simple little diagram. This is a healthy atom, and it has here a proton and a matching electron right here, and that makes it a balanced atom or molecule. Okay, this one is missing an electron, and as such it's not balanced, and it has become a free radical. So this free radical is going to seek to balance itself, and it does that by stealing electrons from healthy molecules or healthy cells. So it's going to bang around in your body stealing healthy cells' electrons, making them in turn a free radical, which is then going to go around damaging other cells and so on. Now, when you eat antioxidants, they have the ability to pass an electron to the free radical, thus balancing it, but they themselves are not damaged. So it's a way of neutralizing the free radical. So now it's not going to steal an electron from a healthy cell, and it's not damaged the antioxidant. So it's pretty perfect. The problem is that there are millions and millions and millions of free radicals, and you need to eat masses and masses, like an impossible amount of food, in order to have enough antioxidants. Partly the reason for this is because we're not talking about normal amounts of free radicals. We're talking about free radicals generated by massive amounts of toxins that we're now being exposed to that we've never been exposed to before. So our body is struggling. Okay, so that is how an antioxidant deals with an oxidant, or a free radical is just another word for the same thing. Okay, so one of the solutions is that people take certain supplements that have very concentrated amounts of fruit and veggies and so on in them, so that they can provide a lot more than you could practically eat. And that is something that's worth looking at and worth doing, but even that is going to struggle to make any serious impact on the amount of free radicals you've got if you're toxic. Okay, it's just not going to do it. So is there a solution? And yes, of course there is. I've already hinted at that. I'm going to read a quote from Washington State University about a supplement where it says, potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now that is a very big claim. Okay, potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative. I want you to notice the preventative as well, because it's always better to prevent. Okay, breakthrough in the history of medicine. It's a product that has some ingredients that most people will know are good ingredients, like turmeric and milk thistle and green tea and ashwagandha and so on. But you wouldn't think that those ingredients, good as they may be, could possibly have that kind of level of therapeutic preventative breakthrough. So what do they do? So first of all, Protandim is a patented product. It has many clinical peer-reviewed studies done on it, and it has been proven in these clinical studies to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in as little as 30 days. Okay, so this isn't it's a proven clinical study. Research has shown that it does that, and that study was done on healthy people. And just so you know, if you're sick, that percentage is higher, because sick people have much higher levels of oxidation. So 40% in healthy people, above that in sick people, in 1 month. Okay, so that is incredible, and why the statement was made that I just read. So it also, or how it does that, is by increasing certain antioxidants that your body makes. There's a couple of them here, and the biggest one is glutathione, which it increases by 300%. Now, how does that help? You need to understand, first of all, that the antioxidants that your body produces don't work the same as the antioxidants that you eat. So instead of working on a one-on-one basis, where one molecule of antioxidant neutralizes one molecule of oxidant and then is spent, the antioxidants your body makes work on one neutralizing 1,000,000 per second for around 11 to 13 days. So we're on a whole different level here. Your own antioxidants that your body makes are destroying oxidants rather on a 1/1,000,000 per second basis. The problem is that as you get sick or older, your own antioxidant levels drop, and this is where we start to run into trouble. And what Protandim does, it's not in of itself an antioxidant. It is an antioxidant, but it's mild. But what it does is it turns a switch called the Nrf2 switch in the cells on, telling your body to start making more of its own antioxidants. And that's where glutathione and superoxide dismutase, which is another important antioxidant your body makes, are increased and start to do this amazing job of reducing the oxidative stress that your body's under. In fact, it takes it back from wherever you are back to a healthy young person's levels. Okay, so what it does is absolutely amazing. And if you've got a chronic disease of any type, then this is something you really should be taking. And one of the nice things about this as well is that you don't need to take high levels, just 1 pill a day. okay, which is a bottle a month, is all you need. Often when you're very sick with a lot of supplements, some of which I will be recommending, but you need to take much higher levels because it's got such a big job to do. But in this case, one, some people do take two, but really, you know, one is sufficient for most people. Okay, so let me just quickly flick over here to show this little graph. So this is the oxidative stress level of a person who's healthy and not got a disease. And what you'll see is that coming up to about the age of 20, it's pretty level. And then after that, the oxidation levels rise rapidly until they're extremely high as you get into your 60s and 70s and so on. So that is what typically happens, meaning that you've got a much higher level of oxidation, meaning that now you're going to be much more susceptible to any kind of disease. And that's why we see more and more diseases as we get older. And it's one of the reasons we see more and more diseases as we get older. So after Protandim, that line doesn't happen. The line stays straight. Okay, that's what happens. So your oxidation goes right down to that of a healthy young person. So that is something that is going to make the world of difference to your health, and why I recommend this as a foundational supplement. I'm going to be going on to some other supplements in subsequent videos, but this is a starting point where you take one of these a day for at least the rest of your chronic disease. But this is something every person who doesn't want a disease, who wants to be preventatively minded rather than waiting and trying to turn something around that's already got a hold. I think everybody should be taking this. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Now, if you have any questions, by all means, get in touch with me. There's going to be a link below for a purchase if you want to purchase this product. I'm not going to give prices because it changes depending on the country that you're in, although actually I will give the price for the UK. So if you're in the UK, you're talking about £43 a month ish for this product, and pro rata for other countries. Okay, so there's going to be a button to purchase the product should you want to purchase it. You can always connect with me if you want more information, and then there's going to be another button to go to the next video, which is going to be looking at the next supplement that I recommend. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful for you. Please connect with me if you want more information, or if you've been given this video by somebody else, then connect with them to find out more. And God bless you. Thank you for your time. I hope it's been helpful for you.